Oliver Anthony shot to fame so quickly in 2023 that country music fans who weren't already familiar with him figured he might be a genuine overnight sensation. But Oliver has a similar story to other struggling artists, and his shocking life before fame is living proof of that. He even pokes fun at his early hardship with his social media handle, Ain't Got a Dollar. Oliver described himself as a grassroots musician before he achieved viral fame with the song Richmond North of Richmond this past August. He even shot a poorly lit video to introduce himself on August 7, 2023. He captioned the video, "It's a pleasure to meet you." And Oliver talked about Richmond North of Richmond being uploaded to a local radio station the next day. Oliver sounded pretty humble when he said, "Lord willing, it's gonna get some traffic." He hoped that a few people would listen. By the end of that month, the video for the song had been viewed an astonishing 45 million times on YouTube, and millions of new fans wanted to know who Oliver is. Oliver's parents are Connie and Stephen Lunsford. He dropped out of high school at age 17, although Oliver went back to school later and eventually got his GED. He's spoken honestly about growing up in Piedmont, North Carolina. Although critics tried to get Oliver canceled over his so-called overnight success, Oliver was even accused of faking his accent and his background, but he's still going strong. Oliver began to record his songs in 2022. He had a strange reason why. Oliver is currently only 31 years old, but last year he was shockingly convinced that he might pass away. And as Oliver said in an interview, he didn't want his music to pass away with him. Oliver told the Free Press that he grew up suffering from depression and anxiety. And in that interview, he said that he was getting chest pains and brain fog. Although Oliver knew that his bad feelings about himself were making it worse, for years, he claimed he'd worked dead-end jobs that made him feel hopeless. The job that Oliver detested the most was working at the North Carolina paper mill. A decade ago, he fractured his skull in a work injury, and Oliver had to move to Virginia permanently. Oliver said, "I was feeling like my body was starting to fall apart." So he told himself to go ahead and start getting everything uploaded. Oliver said that if he ended up having a heart attack in his 30s, there would at least be a legacy of his music left online. Despite this, Oliver doesn't go by his real name. He was born Chris Lunsford, and Oliver currently lives in Farmville, Virginia. Oliver is married to his second wife, Tiffany. They have an 18-month-old daughter named June, and on October 18, 2023, Tiffany gave birth to a baby boy named Amos. Oliver also has a daughter from an earlier marriage, and Tiffany's grandfather, Arthur Brogdon, told the New York Post some intimate details about Oliver's personal life. In the interview, Arthur called Oliver by his first name, Chris. Arthur claimed that Chris had a bad first marriage. While Tiffany's ex-boyfriend had been badly injured in a car crash, he said that Tiffany and Chris met online. And once they became serious about one another, Arthur claims that Tiffany and Chris became better people together. Arthur told the Post that Tiffany and Chris define happiness, and that there's something else. Arthur also revealed that he has a sweet nickname for his granddaughter June. He said he calls her Junebug. While his viral fame must be a consolation to Oliver and a boost to his mental health, he's definitely not letting success go to his head. Oliver basically lives off-grid with his family in a 27-foot camper with a homemade tarp roof. The New York Post claims that Oliver said he bought the camper for under $800. He's a farmer, and he works the land he purchased for just under $100,000. Using Oliver Anthony as a stage name is a tribute to Oliver's musician grandfather. His grandfather was Anthony Oliver Engel, and Anthony passed away in 2019. Oliver did inherit his grandfather's property, but he apparently prefers not to live there. Because local people know where the grandfather's house is, Oliver started getting mobbed by eager fans when he tried to go there. Arthur has insider information on why Oliver and his family prefer seclusion and being off-grid. Arthur said that Oliver is a laid-back type of person who doesn't say much. Allegedly, Oliver says more on stage than he does in private. Arthur claims that Oliver prefers not to say much at all. Oliver has been open and honest about misusing substances and drinking too much throughout his 20s. He was raised a Christian, but he's also revealed that he abandoned his faith as a young kid. He explained in an interview that he felt turned off by God when he was growing up. Oliver believed that religion was man-made, and he didn't feel a genuine connection with a spiritual higher power. But while Oliver doesn't claim to be seeking fame and fortune, he's found his way back to his faith. Oliver prays before he records new songs, and he's starting to open his concert with readings from the Bible. Arthur confirmed during his interview with the Post that Oliver is a religious type of person. Apparently, he doesn't cuss or make threats, and he's just a fine person. Oliver is also dedicated to everything he does, according to his wife's grandfather. Before he decided to quit working a day job last year to focus on music, Oliver sewed aluminum siding for a construction supply company in Richmond, Virginia. He even appeared in a job site photo with his co-workers at Chesterfield Trading Company. And Arthur claimed that Oliver was making a good living. Arthur also talked about Oliver and Tiffany's wedding. He said that around 100 guests gathered outside at a farm in Dinwiddie County. Oliver and Tiffany hired a food truck to feed everyone, and Arthur said that he had a Philadelphia's cheesesteak. If it sounds crazy to hear that Oliver and his wife and kids live in a trailer with a tarp roof, Arthur has some inside knowledge on that too. He claims that Oliver and his wife are an outdoor couple. Arthur said they enjoy kayaking and they ride ATVs. The family also keeps horses. And Arthur said that Chris and Tiffany just love each other. Arthur's most shocking opinion about Oliver has to do with musical talent. It's unbelievable to hear this, but Arthur doesn't think that Oliver plays guitar very well. He also said that he wasn't a big fan of Oliver's music at first. Although he enjoys Oliver's music more now because he understands what Oliver's songs mean. Now, Arthur says he even listens to Oliver's songs on his phone. So for a man who wants to leave a legacy, it sounds like Oliver has done pretty well for himself.